Hello, everybody. Happy Labor Day. Oh my gosh. It is here, technically, the end of summer. I know a lot of people after this weekend take down their swimming pools and all that fun stuff or winterize them. But happy Labor Day, everybody. It's a beautiful, warm day here in north central Illinois. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Pamela. Hope everyone is doing well and all that fun stuff. Woohoo. Alrighty. And we'll get started here in just a moment. Hi, Gia. Let's see here. That looks good. Just checking cameras, everyone. Okay. So, here. What we are working, this is episode 4, Mod Dog episode 4. This is what we're working on tonight. In our last episode, we cut out all the dog appliques, and tonight we're going to be stitching those 6 puppies onto my backing fabric. This is a gray Moda, and this is what they're going to go onto. And I left it in one whole piece. That panel will fit in between these 2 piece panels here on my design wall. Hi, Chris. Hi, Janelle. And we're going to get started. So the first, I did not use a fusible to place my appliques down, simply because all I have in my studio right now is Steam to Seam 2, and that's more for collage quilting because it adds a little bit of, it makes your appliques a little bit stiffer for a quilt that I want to have its softness remain, if that makes sense. So I've got my doggies all cut here. There's green, red, yellow, and blue. I'm going to start with the blue one. Why not, right? And I'm going to put my first one. I'm going to find my center line first, because I'm going to put 3 above and 3 below it. And I'm just going to eyeball it, space them out, kind of glue base them into place as I go, not all at one time. The technique I'm using is just a raw edge applique, and I'm actually going to use a multi-step zigzag, which almost any sewing machine has. Regardless of which one you have, you will be able to do this if you want to make this quilt. Okay. So I'm going to swap over to the other camera. Hi, Larry. Welcome. Okay, let's swap to another camera and you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, let's angle that down a bit. Here we go. There we go. Up a little higher. Oh, come on, you. There we go. There it went. It caught that time. Okay. Move it just a bit. Get my water and my coffee cup out of the way. Oh, wonderful, Larry. Welcome. I actually make it out to Arizona occasionally, Larry, for 35th Ave Sew and Back there in Phoenix, and also for Kathy's down in Tucson. Okay, so first, I am going to use, what do I want to use first here? Let me see. I am going to do a green dog first. Okay, so here's my green dogs. And I'm using the same, I'm not matching thread to this, to each one of these 4 different colors. I'm going to use It's a very, very dark navy. It's almost black, but I'm using Metler silk finish 50 weight cotton thread for my applique stitches, just because I can. And I'm going to use one of my dogs here. I'll set these to the side, get one of my little, here's the ears, the floppy ear. Okay. I'll keep those two pieces pinned together for another one. Okay, so now actually I want this one. For this panel, I am going to try to keep it as close to this photo that the designers created. But I'm thinking about maybe, since I'll have a few extra, I may do some applique over here on these side panels as well on the next episode. I haven't really decided yet. We'll see. I'm not going to promise. But I am contemplating that possibility. Okay. So this is the one I want here. And there's its ear. Okay. Now I'll pin these two pieces together. Make sure I've got the right one. Right there. That one will stay with this one. Hey puppy. Did you wake up from your nap, huh? Did you wake up from your nap? You did. You're such a good doggy. And then I'm going to pin, rough pin. I'm just going to put one pin in the center for right now. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Basic glue to tack it down a little bit. Okay. This background fabric here, this is a gray Moda Grunge. I really like it. It really pops, makes these jewel tone colors really pop out. And then here is the floppy ear, and I'm going to place it where it goes, right there. And once I get it in place, I'm going to stitch it down first, because part of it goes underneath the big piece here. Give me another pin. I think. There we go. That looks good. That looks good to me. I'm going to put that right in there. Okay. Pin down the dog on this, kind of like right down the center this way of that shape. And since I'm using a multi-step zigzag for my applique, this is going to be very forgiving. Hi Cecilia, welcome. Hi Georgia. Oh Georgia, you're fine. We're just getting started here. We've got 6 of these doggies to applique for tonight. That's our goal for tonight. Okay. There's that down. I'm going to put some directional pinning on the legs. What that means is I'm just going to put a pin right in the center of each one of these little legs, and that'll just hold it in place. one up there for his tail. There we go. It's all good. And then I'm going to need one more pin about right there. Let me just see. Okay, that is just right. Then I'm going to put one pin right up here, but I'm going to fold this ear back and hold it in place with a pin, because this piece here will go underneath this ear, if that makes sense. Okay, so we're just about ready to stitch this one down. Okay. Okay. And I think we is ready to go. This will be his eyes. This is all cotton fabric. But there will be one of his eyes. Each dog gets its own eye, of course. It'll go approximately right there. Right there will be his eye. Okay. Excuse me. Now then, let go, scissors. Here we go. Let me move some of my other goodies out of my way here. Okay, so we are about to get started, everybody. And I was going to glue baste it, but I'm going to try this first one without using glue. If I need to, I will glue it. If not, I'm not going to. But it's here if I need it. And we'll just play that one by ear. Probably will not need it, but we'll see. You never know. Okay, take my excess thread off. And let's see. I'm going to stitch down the floppy ear first. And let me get my stitch selected. Let's see here. It is stitch number 22. 22 is what I'm going to use. There we go. And I'm going to have to do a test so I can get the size of the stitch that I want first. Okay. Let me just swap over to another camera and you can see what I'm doing that way. You can see my test. There we go. Okay. Now then, where did my little quilted piece go? Test piece. There it is. There you are. Okay. Okay, so let's see what size stitch this is. This is a 6 width and a 1 millimeter length. Let me see what that looks like. 2 wide. So I'm going to lower that down to 4 millimeters in width. I'm going to try that. And I'm going to put it down to 0.6 millimeter for length. And that's about where I want it. So, 4 millimeter width, 0.6 millimeter width. I'm going to show you my screen here on the Allegro. As you can see, the width is 4 and the length is 0.6. Okay, that's what I'm going to be using. Okay. And what that'll look like is right here. Oops. Right there is my, I'm going to use for applique right here. Yes, Coralie, I'm still on the Allegro tonight. I'm going to finish this quilt top on the Allegro, and then for the next several sessions, I will be using the Altair. Okay. But the next two tonight, and then there'll be one more to finish this quilt top, and then I will move from the Allegro to the Altair. That is my game plan anyway. Okay. So the part that sticks underneath the main applique, I'm not going to stitch along that edge because it'll get stitched on anyway. So I'm just going to go around the outside edge of this floppy ear here. And I am in no hurry. And all that fun stuff. I do not have any type of stabilizer underneath this. I'm just going to go slow. And if I need to, I will stop and rotate my fabric a little bit. Go around a curve or a point. Let's rotate it again. I'm going to take that pin out now. It's held in place. And the big thing is just to keep it flat. Rotate it. Ouch. The only downside to having everything pinned in, sometimes you stick yourself with a needle. If you heard me say ow, that's what I did. It's all good. Us quilters and people who sew, we know all about that fun. That's part of it. Come down this side, and that floppy ear will be stitched down. Now, if you were making one of these, you could use any thread you wanted to for the applique. You could color match it. I'm just going to have it all outlined in black, simply because the piece panels on each side of this panel are like newsprint, and there is a lot of black newsprint in my background fabrics, and that I just thought it would kind of help pull it all together a little bit, so to speak. Okay, so I'm going to do a tie-off stitch, and then thread cut. We'll pull that out. There is that. There's a seam in it right there. Yeah, so there's the floppy part of the ear all stitched down. Lots of fun. And then, so take that pin out, this will go right over the top of it, as you can see right there. And there's his pointy ear. I'm going to go ahead and pin that back down. But this is why I did not stitch this part here down, because I knew this was going to come and lay right over the top of it. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Okay, get my pin in. Come on, you. Get in there. There we go. And now, let's see. I am going to start right here. Because the reason I'm going to start right here, that's where the next applique will go for the eyeball. So check it out. If my start and stop doesn't line up perfectly, well, no one will ever know, because this applique will cover it up. Come on, come loose now. Well, this fabric really likes to. There we go. There's a single layer. But there will be his little eye that'll go right there. Okay. Okay, so I'll just take that off now. That'll be the next piece to sew down, will be his eye. And I've also got to put a dog collar on him, so I'm going to completely finish each dog before I go to the next one. Let's see, I'm going to go start right here. Here we go. Right there. And we're just going to go all the way around. Turn that a little bit. Turn it a little more. And a little more. There we go. Yes, if it was fused down, it would make it a little bit easier, but I was out of of the soft hand type of fusible that I like, which is Misty Fuse. I really like Misty Fuse for stuff that I want to remain soft. There we go. My goal is just to let that needle go right off the edge of the fabric as I'm going. Let's get that nice and smoothed out. We'll start it up again. Excuse me. So when I quilt a quilt that has applique or embroidery on it, when I'm quilting, I just go right over the top of it as if it was just regular fabric. And it works out just fine. Here we go. It's looking good. I like it. Because I tell you, if you ever have a piece of quilt that's kind of puffy looking in places, don't worry. You know, in the quilting process, you can take all that puffiness or fullness out. I do it all the time for customers. Super easy to do. Just work it around my way around all the raw edges. that pin out of my way. Here we go. I will be making more of these because I know several people who are just going to want one of these quilts. And I will for my next one that I do, I will do it with IQ and program it in IQ to do these in the hoop. But this one, I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. And you know, sometimes I like to do it this way because I like to feel the fabric in my hands and all that fun stuff. And it's really nice to have total control where your fabric is going to go and all that fun stuff as well. Oh yes, Coralie, we know all about that, don't we? Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, I just remembered I gotta take my shot today. Ooh. I'll do that after this session is over. Monday is shot day for Richard. I just realized when I started talking about, to answer you, Coralie, that I hadn't taken my shot today. I took all my pills. I take that right after as soon as I get up in the morning. I haven't had my shot yet today. It's all good. This is fun. I like making these little dogs. These are cute. This would be a really cool quilt to embellish with buttons, wouldn't it? I could see this thing covered with cool buttons for the eyes. Now I'm not pulling on it may look like it, but I am not pulling on fabric. I'm keeping it smooth and gently guiding it with my hands as I approach a pivot point. If I wasn't on camera, I'd be using my knee lift for this, but there's just not enough room with the cameras to use that knee lift. I got a long stretch now. Kick that into higher gear here. Excuse me. pin out. Oh, thanks, Georgia. Honestly, Georgia, I didn't plan it that way. It's just the way it worked out because I saw in the instructions it said to cut the strips in half, but I didn't do that. So that's just this is just how mine ended up turning out. Some of them, the strips are just, I cut them on the last episode so they were kind of at a diagonal as opposed to the way these are located, just to give it a little bit of different look. Okay, let's come down this side. Another reason I like doing applique like this, excuse me, is because this gives it a more, what's the word I'm looking for? More vintage look would be a good way to do it, and maybe a more handmade look as opposed to doing it in a hoop. And it's just fun to do it like this. I think it's fun to do it. Okay. And I might end up putting a border around this to make it just a little bit larger. I had some fabric left over from the kit, and I think I've got enough that I could work out some kind of a border for it, maybe. I don't know yet. We'll see. But I can tell it's going to take about 2 episodes to stitch all this down live on camera. I thought it might go a little bit quicker than this, but it's all good. We're going to do 3 dogs tonight and 3 on the next episode. And remember, everyone, this Friday night, there is no Feature Friday. However, I'm going to release another video for Friday. Get my little purple thing doodad here. Pull that down and make it a little easier. Okay. There we go. That one is basically complete, but we do have to put the eyeball on it yet. So there we go. You can see what that looks like. His little front feet. Cute little puppy. Excuse me. Okay. Let's put an eye. This will be the fun one right here. I'm so tempted just to bypass this and put buttons on it instead. Oh, Corley, I don't know. I haven't decided yet which one is Puffin. I think Puffin will be the gold colored one because his fur is kind of a goldy color, so the gold one will be Puffin. So there's that. Let's see here. What do y'all think? Do this or put a button, sew a button down for its eye? Let me hear it in the comments. What do you think would look best? Black cloth for the eye or a button, a cool button? Excuse me. Goodness. My allergies are wreaking havoc on me tonight. Let's see here. Take them pins out. I'm not going to put this on just yet, this cloth. I'm going to think about that button situation here, because I'm really wanting to put a cool button down for the eye, and that's probably what I'll end up doing. Okay. So the next one, let me go to my other camera. Button is definitely easier, and I have a huge vintage button collection, so it's probably going to be a button. I'm going to have to think about it though. Let's see here. Let's go to this camera. Then the next puppy, I'm going to put right up here above this one. And I'm going to put a blue one there. I'm going to have us a blue dog there. He's going to be going the other. I want him in the other direction. Put a pin in him. I am going to lay the two more out, but I'm not going to fully pin them down, because I want to make sure I have my spacing right, if that makes sense. I'm going to leave the buttons off, the eyes off for right now, so I can think about it and see what kind of options button-wise I do have, and blah, blah, blah. So, let's see here. Is that the right ear? I think it is. Yes, it is. Put that there. There's a pin there. Now let me pull out the yellow dog and the gold dogs. And I'm just going to alternate the direction of them, since the way I folded over my strips that I made, I have one of each color going in the opposite direction, so maybe this one could go right there. I like them at the angle. That's a nice contrast. Okay, let's just put a pin there for right now, and then we'll decide. And at the top will be a red dog. That looks pretty darn good to me. Oop, no, it's got to come down some. Okay. That's why I wanted to do that. Okay. You need to come down a little bit there, mister. I agree, Chris. That's what I'm leaning towards. And I have some really cool buttons. I even have bone buttons, which I think is what I would put in this one for the eyes. I'm not going to lay the ones out down here because I already have that one done and I know that they'll fit. But that way, now I have those laid out approximately where they're going to go. And I'm not going to pin the ears down yet on those two. I'll wait till I get to them because I'm going to totally do. What I am going to do is just pin these legs up and out of my way. I'm just going to bring this over and pin that right there. I don't have so much fabric spread out to have to contend with. Okay. And we will do the next one now. Oops. That goes over there. And let's see here. I will swap to the other camera. Okay, right there. So I'm going to pin this back. Pin in right here. Just to hold it in place. Then we're going to do this just like before. I'm going to stitch down the ear, the floppy ear that goes underneath the main piece first. And this quilt, I'm probably going to donate this quilt to my local animal shelter. stay stitch, a tie-off stitch, and a thread cut. Okay. And we'll fold that back down. It's going to go back over it, and then I need to pin this a little better, is what I just discovered. I only had one pin in it. So, let me just bring this up and over so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. There we go. Right there. Just want the this main piece to come over approximately a 1/4 inch or so, no more than a 1/4 inch. Cover up those raw edges. Pin that in place. There we go. And then I'm going to put a few more pins in it. I thought about using basting glue, but you know what? This is working out really good. It's working out well for me, so don't think there's really no need to do that, even do that. So I'm not going to. Just going to lay in a few straight pins. And these pins, everybody, these are really fine silk pins. So if my needle were to hit them, it's not going to cause any damage to the machine or to the quilt or anything like that. It may bend the needle, this needle, but not the sewing machine needle. These are called Magic Pins, is the brand name of them. Linda, I am using the multi-step zigzag stitch with Metler, 50 weight Metler silk finish cotton thread for my appliques. This is all raw edge applique. I'm not using any fusible, I'm not using any kind of a glue. And all that fun stuff. Put a pin right there on his tail and one more. We'll be ready to stitch him down. And the pattern calls for this black cloth for the eyes. And I'm really toying and leaning towards not using this that I cut out from the pattern. Hold on, let me get one. It would go right there. I'm actually thinking about using a button there instead. And Chris agrees with it. Corey Lee agrees with it. I'm really leaning towards putting a vintage button down for the eye of each dog. We'll see. Nothing's written in stone at this point. Okay, now I'm going to stitch down all the raw edges with my multi-step zigzag. On this machine, I am on the Allegro. It is stitch number 22, 4 millimeter width, 0.6 for the length. You can see what that looks like right there. Okay. And let's see here. I'm going to start right here because this is where the eye will go. And I'll do my start and stop right there. This little foot here, this open-toed foot, came with the machine. There we go. Can actually take that pin out. I'm just going to get it all nice and smooth before I start sewing. Okay. just letting the needle go barely off the edge of this applique I'm currently stitching down. I decided to use this color thread throughout on all my different colored dogs because my background fabric has a lot of newsprint in it with a lot of black, and this will actually, I think, help tie it all together. So it's all good. But if you were making one of these, you could certainly color match your top thread to the color of the fabric if you chose to. This is just how I chose to do it for this one. Hi, Vanessa. Remove a pin. Removed another pin. Yes, and so I've decided I will end up making at least 2 more of these quilt tops, and the next one I'm going to do all the programming in IQ Designer and do the applique process in IQ Designer for my next one. straight pin out. No, Vanessa, I did not use any type of glue or fusible stabilizer on this one. I just pinned them in place. Now, if I was doing it in the hoop, yes. Would I have to do that? Not really, no, because you'd be using a placement stitch and a tack down stitch and all that fun stuff. But no, I did not use, I did not adhere the appliques down ahead of time. Yeah, that needle got me. Woo! That's always fun. Right, Coralie? Oh, Vanessa, this is really a simple applique. If it was a more complex one, I would totally have adhered them down first. But the only fusible applique stabilizer I have in my studio right now is Steamosine 2, and it's just a little bit, it's heavy. What I mean is, it's really great if you're doing a collage quilt that's going to hang on a wall. But if you think it might be used on a bed, it can be a little stiff. And that's why I did not use any. Pin out. I find if you just take your time and you're willing to pin, you can actually don't always have to use a fusible on stuff. It's totally easier to do and manipulate if it's fused down, for sure. I never, ever, ever, ever use a spray adhesive. That just, so many things can go wrong with that. For instance, you can get it on your machine. It will gunk up your needle and your thread path. So I do not advise using spray-on adhesives near any sewing machine. It's not worth it. Let me take some of these pins out. I've done stitched all around those. Let's get them out of our way here. And that one. Here we go. The thing is just to keep everything flat, not stretched, but to keep it flat. as it's moving, just slowly rotate it and pivot the fabric where you need to follow your line, your edge of your fabric with. Easy peasy. I'm just letting the machine pull the fabric in. I'm not pushing it in or pulling it. That's what the feed dogs on your machine are for. Take that pin out. Going to go around his snout. That's a technical term, everybody, a snout. Okay. Getting back to where our starting and ending point is. And I'll use the tie off button and cut the thread. Woohoo! There's 2 doggy, 2 out of 6 stitched down. Woohoo! Lift this camera up. There we go. There's our 2 of our dogs stitched down on that panel. Oh, cool, Coralie. Okay, I'm going to do another one. Like I said earlier, I'm going to do 3 of these tonight, and tomorrow night we'll do the last 3. And by then I'll have a decision on what kind of eyeball I'm going to put down. I overthink things sometimes, I think. God, I'm overthinking that even, but whatever, it's all good. So let me swap to my other camera. Where'd my mouse go? Here it is. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to this other camera. There we go. I'm just going to pin this excess up down this way. I'm going to pin it up. About right there. And then again. Just not to have it reduces the bulk. That's what I'm trying to do here. Okay. Just put in 3 here. Ooh, I could do hand embroidery for the eyes. There's a thought. With some real heavy 8-weight wool thread or something. That would be kind of cool. Or I could do the buttons. I really want to use buttons for some reason. If I could find any that I'd be happy with out of the bazillion buttons I have in my collection. I'm sure I could find a couple. Okay. There's a floppy doggy ear. Right there. Here we go. Let's get him pinned in. That'll be the first thing I stitch down. Here we go. Got one in the center. Do my center lines. Wouldn't these be pretty in some Tula or Cave fabric? I think it would. I thinks it would. Okay, that's good enough for that for right now. You just fold this back and pin it out of my way. Pin up here to hold that all up. Ouch. Ouchie, ouch. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Got leftover one for right now. I'll just go ahead and stick that one there. Alrighty, now then. And got these leftover ears that will match these other pieces. I'm gonna have a couple leftover puppies. I have a leftover yellow and green one. Don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet. They might go for another quilt. Or I might add them to this one in the pieced area. I just don't know yet. I think it would be too much. So these will probably go. I have a lot of this fabric left over for these dogs. So I actually probably have enough to even make a second quilt, quite honestly. We'll see. Okay, now we're set to go. Once again, I'm going to stitch down the droopy ear first. Oh, I know, Coralie. I know my sugar's really kind of in place because, well, you know, if you're diabetic, you can kind of tell how you feel, where your sugar is, once you've experienced all those different levels. And those of you who have it, you know what I mean. Okay, so let's go back to our other camera. Right there. Okay. I'm going to raise it up. Here we go. And once again, the thread I am using, this applique thread, it's right up here. Check it out. That is Mettler Silk Finish Cotton Thread. It is awesome thread. I love that thread. One of my favorites. It's a 50 weight. It's great for top stitching. You can quilt with it. You can piece with it. Cool thread. Love it. Ease myself around that little curve. This weekend I will be in Geneva, Illinois, which is up in Chicagoland. I'll be having an embroidery and IQ workshop. It seems the more of them, the fast each one gets a little bit quicker, so that's all I need to do there. That raw edge there will be covered up by the other layer of applique, so I'm going to use my tie off button. Oh, puts up, there we go. And then I'll cut it. Then I need to do a little more pin in here. Go right over the top of it, like so. Okay. And let me put a few more pins around my edging here. Just keeps it all in place while we're a twisting and a turning. Well, we have lost a few music legends here over the last couple of days. Jimmy Buffett passed away. Wow. I'll always think of him whenever I have a margarita. I used to have a Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville margarita machine when I lived out in Texas. We'd have margarita parties on the front porch. Really makes me feel my age when all of these rock stars start passing away that I used to listen to when I was younger, as far as that goes. The cycle of life. All you can do is just sit back and enjoy the ride, everybody. Could totally do that, Coralie. I play a farming game on my tablet, and all my farm animals that I give them all names. Okay, so we're going to get started there. It's all pinned into place. Excuse me. Let me get me a drink of my water here. Yeah, I know, Miss Bob Bark. I mean, they've lost a lot of really famous people this year. We do every year, though, if you really stop and think about it. Okay, so I'm going to go around his snout and just go all the way around the edge, just like before. Just take my straight pins out as I come to them. Adjust this. I was catching my camera and moving it. There we go. Okay. There we go. As you can see, once you get a little more comfortable with it, it goes pretty quick. It is really a lot of fun just to sit here and be one with your machine, guide your fabric. I find it very satisfying to do that. quilt this, I'm going to quilt it in gray thread that kind of matches this background right here. A little bit lighter than what this is. I don't want it too dark. But it will really blend nicely with all these bright jewel tone colors. And add some more texture to it that way. Oh, wonderful, Sarah. Congrats. Awesome. Well, Corley, no, it moves as smoothly as any other machine in its class. It's certainly not going to run the same as an Altair or a Chorus or the Solaris. And no, it's very smooth. It's probably just me, the way that I'm doing it. I keep starting and stopping so I can adjust fabric. That's not the machine, that's me. And no, it's very, I think it's very smooth, quite honestly. If you've only been sewing, say, on an Altair or a Destiny or a Solaris, yeah, you'll totally notice a difference in the sound and the feel of it and all that fun stuff. But no, for its classification of machine, it's a very smooth machine. Tell you, people that buy them, all the feedback I've heard is that they just love it. Although it's physically a large machine, it is not so heavy that it's not portable. It'd be a great machine to take to a class or to a retreat. Because you've got this 12-inch throat space, and it's not heavy like a Solaris or an Altair is, because it doesn't do embroidery. There's a lot of components added to a machine when it's a combo machine that also does embroidery. Hope that made sense. And I do have the stitch length down. That's why maybe you're thinking it's taking longer to stitch. No, and this is also a multi-step zigzag. So for each way over, it's taking 3 stitches and 3 stitches back. I find it very relaxing to sit here and guide the fabric with the sound of the machine. It's almost meditative, for lack of any better description or word. What kind of foot are you using, Coralie? because there is an adjustment right over here. Hold on. Check this out. Okay, everybody, I'm going to move my camera. Hopefully I won't unplug it. There we go. Right here, Coralie. That is presser foot pressure. If your feed, you may need to add more pressure. If the feed dog a walking foot, you might have to adjust this depending on the thickness of your quilt sandwich. But I've never noticed anything like that with the walking foot, that dynamic walking foot that I was using on this machine. Nothing at all like that. Trim this thread before I sew over it. There we go. Yes, I can't find my thread snips, everyone. So I'm using my big shears to snip a thread. I know, it's bad. But it's all good. What works, works, right? Okay, that has that one stitched down. So let's have a look at this. Let me swap to my other camera, mouse right here. Mousey mouse. And there we go. Okay. Get the rest of his pins out. And take these out. So I can unfold that one. Oops, one more. Here we go. That will be the next one right there. That just leaves me 3 dogs to applique down. Woohoo. Let's see what the 3 that are done, how they look. There we go. There are the 3, the green, the blue, and that yellow dog. Let's see how those look here. Get them all on camera good. Woohoo! There we go. Aren't they cute? I just don't know about the eye still, everyone. Just, to me, on the picture it looks really cute, but I don't know, I guess they would be okay. Look at that, right there. Let's lay the ones that are finished, we're going to lay the 3 eyes on them and just see how it would look. Okay. I guess they would look okay with that, but I just don't know yet. I will audition buttons tomorrow night. So episode 5, everybody, will be tomorrow night, which is a Tuesday, at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. That will be episode 5. Woohoo. But yeah, so there's, in a nutshell, there's how you do the doggy appliques. So tomorrow night we'll finish this quilt. I will get the other appliques on. We'll put the eyes on it, and then we'll sew our 3 panels together, and that quilt top will be complete. Woohoo! It's always fun to finish a quilt top. So everybody, let me swap my camera. And I'm just going to show you Puffin real quick. He's snoozing on his little couch. Hold on. Right down there. Now let me swap the camera back. There we go. There's the Puffy dog. Puppy, wake up, Puffin. There you are. Say hello to everybody, Puffy Boo Boo. You're my good boy. Yeah, he as he gets older, he doesn't like being woken up from a nap, let me tell you. Oh my goodness. Daddy, I just want to sleep. Quit it. You're working my nerves. Okay. So, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Happy Labor Day to one and all. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. I have to go grill cheeseburgers yet for our dinner. We haven't had dinner yet. And so we have some sides, and we're having good old cheeseburgers with cheddar cheese on them. So have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'll see you all tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, for episode 5, the final chapter for the Mod Dog Quilt Top by Colourwerx. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye.